about, but it's most ably done. I can add a little bit more detail, really. Can only speak for us doing it on AQA as a standalone qualification, but as Rob rightly said, you can do it as part of an IB or another qualification. With AQA, it's 3 parts. You have the actual project itself. In my case, there's a 10,000 word essay. I went over a little bit, which I don't know if we can distribute.
There's 6 copies there. If we can have them back at some point.
So if one of these is forced upon you, I do apologise. It's not that bad, really. There's that. There's the project log where you write down everything that you've done, a list of mid-project reviews, that kind of thing. And then there's the actual presentation, which for us was at Bath University. We did it to a lecture theatre, and it's not just about writing. It's actually about making not a literal presentation, but making sure you can communicate with people. That's pretty much all I have to say, actually. Lou was going to talk about our learning community.
Yeah, as part of the project, we set up a research community with the help of Marie and Jack, Dr. Jack Whitehead of Bath University. And when we first met them, we held a kind of university-style seminar where we were giving and receiving constructive criticism of each other's work, which I think was invaluable for the development of each other's projects, because we were each like a new pair of eyes to each other's work, and because we were all doing such different subjects. For example, the title of my project was How has the Rise and Fall of the Berlin Wall affected Germany? So mine was quite historical, but Simon's was based around physics and space. So it was making sure that I could understand what Simon was saying and Simon could understand what I was saying, and then just giving each other ideas, and which I think was invaluable for the development of each other's projects, really. It was definitely a skill that I think that I would definitely be able to use I have been using in my other subjects in school, and will definitely take on to university as well.
So very much set. We had 4 very different types. We had one student doing maths, the relationship between maths and art, and looking at aesthetics. Someone else looking at saturated and unsaturated fats, and then Louise and Simon's, and they had to work and critique each other's work. And the target was to be able to write for an educated lay audience. So AQA was saying, think of the readers of magazines like History for Today, The New Scientist. They have to be writing to that standard. So we were finding, particularly the scientists, and I'm a non-scientist, that I didn't understand a word of what was being written. And therefore we had to work really hard to unpack it so that they met the criteria of that audience. So we worked a lot on analogy.
There was one in particular where I had to rewrite one paragraph about 5 times, because I kept coming up with it to Louise and I don't get this, scrap it, write it again. So, and it really helped, because that whole process means that everyone can understand it. And I think that's one of the big challenges of science, is to actually be able to communicate it to a lay audience, really.
But that was without making what you wrote a reductionist, wasn't it? So we made sure that you maintain the integrity in the research, but you were communicating it. And then by working in this research community style, it meant that we were all meeting, as well as they were doing the independent work, we were all sharing good practice as well. So I think that added strength to it, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that process really made our project so successful, really. It was possibly one of the main reasons why we all achieved what we achieved, and without it, I definitely wouldn't have done as well, because to hear everyone else's ideas was definitely what made my project so successful, making sure they understood because although I knew a lot about it, because I'd done lots of background reading, they didn't really know much about it, so I had to go to areas which they thought would be important rather than cutting them out.